Hi Tarot friends, it's Jade here with Tarot Your Truth, and I'm going back to one of the reasons I created this channel, which was to continue to learn and document my learning journey. And I really wanted to go through each card in a little bit of detail, for me, but if it helps anyone else, then that's great. But this is a useful exercise for me to look back on, I guess, over time. And today what we're doing is going through the Magician. And I have, I took out a good deal of my decks, I think about 42 tarot decks, and I have pulled out the Magician card. So we're starting with the Rider-Waite-Smith card. This is actually the Radiant Wise, oh my gosh, what's it called? The Radiant Wise Spirit. Also affectionately known as the Dirty Pam. So I'm going to start each one of these videos with that one card, and then I'll show you all the other cards one at a time over top of it. So hopefully this little crystal here doesn't bother you too much. I can change it with a smaller one maybe. It's just to provide a little backing for I think I like that one better. Just to provide a little backing for the card so it doesn't fall over. And I'm using my beautiful little brass elephant as a stand, just so that you can see that a little better. Okay, so I'll read the description first on the Rider-Waite-Smith. So for the Rider-Waite-Smith, typical meaning for this, so again, he is the magician, and he's got skill, diplomacy, self-confidence, and will. With wisdom and skill, he harnesses energy into force and force into power for the benefit of mankind. It goes on. There's lots of willpower. It's all about willpower, creativity, manifestation, divine gifts, choices, and opportunities. Whatever he imagines shall come to pass when he brings the full force of his will and vision. He has all the tools he needs to manifest his desires or any opportunity that presents itself. The true magic he embodies is the belief in his own powers, as above, so below, divine and earthly creativity, and perfect union. So in other words, you have all the tools you need to accomplish your goals. This card is powerful and positive. If you asked a question like, can I do this? Or will I succeed? The answer is yes. But remember that this card is about individual ability. In the end, you may have to rely on yourself to get the job done. But don't worry, you have all that you need to succeed. If this card is in a position to represent someone other than you, you have a strong ally that will work magic for you. So I just read some of the descriptions from some of the booklets. For me, the Magician, again, is about that creative force, that willpower, having everything you need. He has all the tools he needs. I look at these as elements rather than the specific, cup and coin and whatnot. But he has the ability to harness all of those things and make happen what he wants, but he does have to work for it. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the others. That's the Gilded, very similar. This is the Vice Versa card. So that is the front, which I'm going to take these off as I go. And then here's the back. So the Vice Versa deck shows you what the back looks like as well, or one version of it, I guess, this creator's. That is from the art history. I'm sorry the lighting is not so great in here. the Santa Muerte. I'm going to try to go through these quickly. I'd like to keep these videos as short as possible. I'm just going to try to increase that a bit. There we go. And you can always pause the video if you would like to see something in a little bit more detail. The John Bauer. This is the Wild Unknown, which, yes, I know is a little bit different, a little bit of a different system. This is my Game of Thrones. He definitely was the magician. The Hidden Realms. The Zombie Tarot. This reminds me of the Frankenstein movie or books. The Magician. The Kenmore Appliance guy. The Everyday Witch. Oh, that's a little too bright. Sorry, it's hard to get the lighting just right. The Magician. That is the Mermaid Tarot. So this is the Revelations Tarot. And I love this deck because you can read it reversed, actually, in the upright position. I got this from someone in our community for the purposes of giving it to my daughter. And I was going to give it to her for her birthday, but she's not quite ready for it yet. So I'm just going to hang on to it for a bit. This is the Emerging Toronto Artists. I love that. The Dame Darcy. The Dark Mansion Tarot. The Muse Tarot. This deck is so fabulous. The Mystic Spiral, I believe. The Mystical Manga Tarot, which I trimmed all the borders off. Crystal Visions. Nicoletta Ciccoli. Shadowscapes. Joie de Vivre. Another deck I love. The New Mythic Tarot. The Crow Tarot. So it still has all of the elements pretty well. Just obviously the Magician is a crow. Mystic Mondays. Another deck I adore. The Fountain Tarot. I'll throw this one in just for fun. This was the Spirit of Halloween Tarot. My Pagan Otherworlds. Very different, right? He still has that pose. Okay, so those are the RWS based. Oh, no, one more. The Next World Tarot. I love this. I love this rendition, actually, even though it's so different than this traditional RWS, but it's modern, and still gives me the same sort of feeling. Okay, and then I have my next few cards are going to be the we'll start with the Ancient Italian. How about that? This is Tarot of the Master. Okay, and I just want to just take one quick second here and read the description for the ancient Italian magician. So these are different than the RWS, right? And they should not be read. They shouldn't really be read the same. I was reading something or listening to a podcast by Dusty White, and I think reading his book as well. I read the same thing. And one of the things that struck me is that in this, that the art does change the meaning. And in these old decks, the magician is not, the meaning is not this, right? The meaning is not as above, so below. You have the willpower to make whatever you want happen. That is not what the ancient magicians were. And in fact, most of them are not even called a magician. The magician was a, sorry, I had a pen explode again. In this case, you could see the dragon, the snakes, the star, like he's got the find the balls under the cups kind of thing. He's a stage magician. He's a conjurer on the street. In some cases, he was, the snake oil salesman. So let's see what this has to say. I actually didn't prepare properly. Okay. Okay, I'm going to have to read that one in just a minute here. Sorry. Okay. The magician signifies originality and creativity, the ability to use one's capabilities in order to accomplish a task. Imagination, self-reliance, spontaneity, skill, willpower, self-confidence, dexterity, ingenuity, flexibility, craft, guile, masterfulness, self-control, trickery, misleading deception, sleight of hand, bewilderment. And that this is where you're seeing the, what the original meanings would have been. Unity of thought and emotion, ability to choose one's own actions, determination to see a task through to completion, capable of influencing other people. So that those are the upbeat meanings. In terms of reversed, if you were to read reversals, this card would have a meaning of weakness of will, indecision, ineptitude, insecurity, disquiet, delay, lack of imagination, the use of one's skills for destructive ends, willpower applied to evil ends. Okay, I'm going to show you actually so for the ancient Italian and also the Marseilles decks, which I'm about to show you, what I'm using right now is the Tarot Classic book by Stuart Kaplan. I have a few other resources as well, but that's the one that I will show you. So that's the Tarot of the Master. Here's one of my pieces of my soul decks, which is the Sopraffino. Actually, sorry, this one is the Ancient Italian. I didn't pull out the Sopraffino because the artwork is pretty much the same as this. But again, here, Ancient Italian deck. Again, he's the stage conjurer, right? The stage magician. Do I have any more of those? I have the one JJ Swiss. Same thing. Dressed colorfully, has lots of toys and things on his table. He's a street performer. Okay, and we get to the Marseilles decks. So now he's also stage magician. This is actually the Tarot Classic 1971 deck, which I just purchased off a community member very recently. The Tarocco Classico, I believe, from Il Meneghello. Very similar, actually. Almost identical, other than the coloring. I didn't notice that before. Interesting. This is my Tattoo Tarot, which I adore as well. Again, same thing. He's a stage magician. And last but not least is my Marshmallow Marseille. Same idea. All his tools, things he needs for his tricks are on his table. So that is what I have for you today. I'm going to continue going through these cards one by one, and going through this again. Like this is not so much to teach anyone else, but more for myself, so that I remember, because this is how I remember what things mean, and how things, this is how things cement in my head. So I take the cards and I actually will go through and compare them, sort of one by one. And how do I see things? These are very different. These are very different cards. This one on the left is the Pagan Otherworlds, of course. The one on the right, hopefully they're not reversed for you. For me, it's on the right, is the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. So how do I get from this to this? What things can I see? Those are the types of things that I look at. And then again, like if we compare this and this, very different. The Next World Tarot, which is the larger card on the right, is a very modern deck. It's a wonderful deck. I love it. But it is quite different, right? So how do we extract the symbols? What are we looking at? The one thing that's stuck in my head from Dusty White's videos is, like, truly the art really does change the meaning. Which is fine. It's not to say that this is wrong in any way because it's different than the system. Don't mean that at all. But if you're using this deck, or if you're using this deck to answer a particular question in a reading for someone, the answers you will get will be slightly different. That's my belief anyway. And that's fine. So you'll have the base. I think what happens is that you have the base is still the same in terms of, you have the capability, you have all the tools that you need at your disposal. And she's got books, she's got books, she's got her iPad or some type of tablet, in front of her. She has everything she needs. She even has a coffee, which is all important, and water is all important. So, the tools themselves may be slightly different than the tools that this guy has, but they're still there. And she's looking in the distance, so she's thinking about, she's kind of a visionary in my mind, thinking ahead as to what it is that she wants to manifest. There's not so much the as above, down below imagery. To me, I don't know, everything, I've been reading a lot about the magician, and to me that as above, so below is just, I don't want to say crap. I don't think it's crap. I think it is something that was made up, put in by Arthur Waite, and that's fine. You know, that's absolutely fine. I just don't typically use that meaning because I don't believe in it. So it's fine. Everyone has to look at all the symbols that are there, look at things that have been placed in there, and then use what works for them. And you won't use every single symbol in every single card. Anyways, that's what I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you'd like to be alerted to future videos, please hit the notification down below. Please hit a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. These are just my ramblings, of course, and I am always trying to learn. Again, I'm not trying to teach anybody, but these are just my own ramblings and the things that I'm thinking about and how I'm going about learning. I would love to hear about how you learn. Do you go by rote meanings by the book? Do you just look at, just use your intuition alone? Do you use something in combination? I would love to know. Please let me know in the comments below. And do you ever do this, go through this exercise of taking a bunch of decks and comparing the cards and the symbolism? I would love to hear what other people do. So please leave me a comment below, and until next time, my friends, we'll meet again for the Hierophant. Bye for now.